Hello and welcome to episode 61 of our Timberborn Update 5 Waterbeaver playthrough in cycle 80, day 3. 80 cycles, sheesh. Well, last time we had to rebuild our tower here because for some reason Mega Platforms went away, but they didn't do that this time, so it looks like we're all good there. And of course we continued evolving different parts of the map, fixing processes, streamlining things, and just generally trying to accomplish stuff. Again, what else am I going to say at the beginning of this? This is episode 61. You know what's up. You know what's going on. So I'll go ahead and hide this thing so I don't have to look at it and I can actually see the map and get going in triple speed. Now, there's stuff that is going to take a long time to get built that we are currently attempting to work on. Like, for example, the elevator to the abyss. Currently, the metal block situation is... well, I'm not going to say it's dire because we are making them. It's really slow because we're using so much stuff for other things. So, I'm kind of reluctant to start dumping stuff in here because, again, we're not going to be able to use this anytime soon since it needs 100 of those and we have to cut the giant logs in half and all that stuff. But we do need to keep in mind that this is going to eventually need to get turned on. I'm probably still going to wait until all this nasty water evaporates, and that should hopefully happen this episode. We'll see. But I did want to address, since we're already over here, somebody asked, why would I build a second Abyss Tourism Center if I'm not using the first one? The answer to that is because I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And also, you take a look at the back of this thing. This has the power input, if you remember from before. Let's go ahead, just for the sake of illustration, and get rid of that. So, if I were to get rid of this, there would only be 2 additional things I could build here because this still has to be plugged in. And, you know, having, like another 6 of them right here, probably not going to need too much more than that. When you take a look at what the Abyss Exploration Center actually does, Tourism Center, I'm sorry, it is a fun provider, and we have 800, well, technically 791, but who's counting? I guess we're counting, but anyway, we got a lot of beavers, and if we want them all to be able to do stuff, one of them's not going to cut it. So I guess technically short term, we probably don't need it. Long term, we probably will. And if you take a look at the rest of the stuff that's in here, we do have excavation drills that we can do to get stuff like gold dust and a whole bunch of salt, dirt and clay and all that stuff. So, you know, that's something that would probably be a decent thing to pop in here. But like the other stuff like the deep pile storage, crate storage, I really don't care about. So you're left with these, because this is the actual building itself, you're left with these 5 right here. Supplementary exploration team, which we're probably not going to need unless we really start consuming these things. But the Nuclear Waste Mining Expedition Center, yeah, okay. We could probably use another one of those, but I'm pretty sure I already built a second one on the other half of the map. So probably not going to worry about that. Gas extractors, we already have 2. The laboratory operating team and the factory operating team, both of these... yeah, we probably could use another 1 of each, maybe another 2 of each. So that's 4 of these 6 slots without the exploration center in place. And that leaves us 2 more for other stuff. So I really don't think it's that big of a deal to build a second Abyss Tourism Center. And again, once you have this built, the power is connected to it. If you have power connected, and then you have to, for whatever reason, build the Abyss Tourism Center, then you have to disconnect power, and then nothing else works while you build the Abyss Tourism Center. And if it takes you a long time to build it, then, well, you're not going to have anything else working in the whole building that needs power. So, I'd rather build it and then delete it if I don't need it later. Just my personal preference. You, of course, can play however you choose. Let's go ahead and squeeze this back in here as soon as it lets me. There we go. Yeah, so we'll leave that where it is because, you know, they can't really reach it right now, so it doesn't matter anyway. And that's fine. So come on over to this side. I guess we could take a look at exactly what we're working with here. Lag. Of course, factory operating team. Laboratory operating team. Gas extractor. gas extractor, and then 2 nuclear waste mining expedition centers. I feel like this is a pretty decent makeup of stuff. And then, of course, we have the Abyss Tourism Center that is paused because I don't want to run out of glowing fluid, which, by the way, we're already out of because the glowing fluid requires sacrificing to the carnivorous firefly things, which we don't have human meat. First of all, disgusting. Second of all, disgusting. Third of all, we're going through it fast. Yeah, we're going through it all right. we're going through it faster than we can get it. So I'm going to go ahead and swap this instead of the ice blocks. I'm going to swap this back over to the frozen human meat. The strong alcohol we're producing actually quickly enough to use, which is nice. That was something that we were really struggling with for a long time, but I think it's catching up because of all of the rice and everything. But you know, we only have 1,700 rice. We're starting to go through it pretty quick, so we might have to examine what's going on with that. So hopefully that fixes our bottleneck with the glowing fluid, firefly juice, whatever you want to call it, and that'll eventually get taken care of. We just kind of flew over this at the beginning of the episode. We did plant the additional chestnut trees right here, since we're not having to grow the everblossoms on the ground anymore. At least not right here. I thought this was a much, much better use of the space. We do have this harvester's office here that does have reach all the way over here. So I think, looking at how this is set up, we're not going to be cutting these trees down, so I'm not going to feel bad just building a temporary forester for the express purpose of... lag. For the express purpose of getting... Again, lag. Is this doorway actually in the right spot? Man, this is like almost unplayable at this point. Yeah, tell me if you heard that one before. But looks like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to avoid putting this here, I don't think, unless I can. Oh, this isn't flippable. All right, well that's fine. Get that built, and then, of course, I always forget what the chestnut tree thing looks like. But we'll go ahead and plant our trees here. Get back behind this, and this can actually get a little bit further this way. But I think I'll just leave this as it is here. We do have space across the way, but... oh, wow, that's a lot more than I thought in terms of harvest capacity. So why don't I know I got rid of the trees here, but no, we're gonna replant those. That's fine. This, I mean, it's not a ton more trees, but every little bit counts. That's our theme for this, right? You got to put in the work, and then eventually you reap the rewards. So we'll leave that alone for the time being and move on to the next order of business, which is got a bunch of people saying, hey, you got to make gold bars. And yes, that is a factual statement, but I think I've said it a billion times, but I've been trying to focus on making stuff like anvils, which, well, now we have 4, so I can probably go ahead and stop making those, but like the drill bits, we are just chewing through at an unsustainable pace. We're going to have to figure out a way to make more drill bits, and that's going to be its own problem. But we do need to turn the gold dust into gold bars, partly because, you know, we've already filled up our storage with gold dust. So since we're not making any anvils here, I'm just going to have this one go ahead and make some gold bars. It has some coal already, which is fine because it needs, yeah, it only needs 50 to that. So I guess we'll make that work. We'll get that accomplished, and then we'll just keep on moving on, hopefully. The saga of elevating paths above farmland continues, which, you know, it's a whole process, man. There's just so much land that we have to cover because I refuse to do districts anymore. Probably also contributing to this, but I'm so tired of chasing stuff around. Oh, sheesh. So, the question we have to ask ourselves now is, how tall does it have to be to get over the pumpkins? Because this is a great place to put in... Okay, I guess this would only be 2 more pumpkins right here, which... Hey, it's something. Sometimes that's all you got to work with is just something. But the amount of land that we have available to us right now isn't exactly screaming to me that we absolutely have to put paths on top of the farmland. I just think that's a cool thing. But one spot where it would probably make an actual measurable difference is right here where we're doing all of these chestnut trees. So if I put a ladder here and then a ladder over here, depending on how we wanted to get stuff connected, I think that would work pretty well. That'd give us like another 20-some chestnut trees if I did all of these. Which, you take a look at the rate these produce things at. It's 8 days to get 4 chestnuts. If you have another 20 of these trees, then every 8 days, that's another 80 chestnuts. And we are going through chestnuts with extreme speed. Again, 800 beavers, they're eating them for food. They're in a bunch of different recipes, and that's just the way it goes. So that's something we're going to need to do something about. And now we've arrived at the GMO growing labs, which for some reason, I in my infinite wisdom, massive sarcasm for those of you who cannot detect it, deprioritized as workplaces. So that's immediately going to stop. We need those. And we got to get these guys back in here. Currently we're making berries, mushrooms, and this one's making mushrooms. People keep leaving comments begging me to do the bramble flowers in here. So, I mean, yeah, we probably really need to, but also keep in mind we don't have any glowing fluid right now, so it's almost a moot point to get that going. I'm not saying we're never going to do it, but we have to be able to take care of the other stuff that the glowing fluid gets used for. Just a matter of efficiency there. So, we'll keep that in our back pocket eventually to get there. We are still making the bramble flowers in the, what are these things called? Yeah, these things, multipurpose sector workspaces. And this recipe doesn't use glowing fluid. It's sawdust and water. It's super simple. Like, I really don't see the reason to use the GMO growing lab, which requires a degree from the ENS to do that, when I can just build one of these things. But now the problem, of course, is that I don't have enough sawdust, which is an entirely different discussion in and of itself, because, of course, it is. We got a lot of stuff to take care of. So, in addition to that, somebody left a comment asking if the giant sequoia feller can reach these trees, which you can now see there are 5 that it cannot reach. Why is that the case? I can't tell you. I truly do not understand, but it's where we are. So I think what we'll be able to do to take advantage of these guys is, first off, get these things out of here, these brambles. And there is a function of, I believe it's the, the tapper's flag. Since these aren't reachable, the tapper's flags will actually get logs from these regular-sized logs if you give them the opportunity to do so, which I never really thought was going to be a thing, so I didn't do it. But here we are. So I'm going to just pop this guy here and here. And I probably don't need more than 2 of them. But I'm going to prioritize. Well, I guess I don't really have to prioritize because they're going to do whatever's closest to them. But at least we can, once every 4 days, get 1 log from each of these, which probably would be better to cut these down. But hey, you got 5 of these things. Every 4 days you can get 5 logs. It's something. You can make use of it, and then at some point in the future, maybe we build this sequoia feller thing in a different location. I'm guessing it's just like a really weird pathing thing. And by really weird, I mean completely normal and explainable, and I'm just dumb. But, you know, they're already here. I might as well make some use of them while I can, which actually, you know what? I don't need to have 2 of these if they're only going to be able to do one every 4 days. So this one will remain paused. I'm going to leave it built in case we need it for something else, but that will remain paused. Okay, so other stuff on the agenda. I got my giant document here with all of my notes from everything. I know it might not seem like it, but I do take notes on stuff. I just end up not being able to be a superhuman. Like some people apparently expect me to be, but that's fine. Do what you can. A pretty decent motto to follow in most cases. So medium mines we've also upgraded recently. By upgraded, I mean just built, period, point blank. This one is getting our saltpeter. This one is getting our salt. No Peter. This one is getting our coal, and this one is getting quartz, which we actually have a decent store of coal right now. I mean, we're never going to have enough of this to fully take care of everything we want to be doing, but it's a pretty good start. We probably should build another one of these to get iron, but, you know, it is what it is. There are increasingly large and loud calls for us to build more drills here. But where am I going to put them? We'd have to find space to put them, and they are going to require having our power shafts in specific spots. And like, you remember how long it took us to build these the first time around? Like, I don't really see a whole lot of other good spots in this general area to do that. I'm not saying we're never going to do it, but given how things are currently, I think we probably are going to be better served investing our time and resources elsewhere. Again, not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just, for what we're working with in this specific instance, I don't think it's the right thing to do. I'm much more interested in acquiring human flesh for the purposes of feeding these fireflies, which it seems like they are doing. It's just every hour and a half you get one glowing fluid drop, and we need a lot of those things. Because keep in mind, I'm still trying to expand these towers here, because we've got a lot more farming to do. At least wood has caught up. We have 1,000 logs somehow. So, woohoo. We have our gold bar, which I guess probably means I should turn this over to something else, because I only have 63 gold dust. I'll just go back to drill bits. That's fine. Now we have a gold bar. And what can we use the gold bar for? Mostly statues, I think. That's what this is. Wow, the farmer statue. We built the pregnant statue. We built the upside down statue. We have the pointer statue, which takes gold dust. We have the farmer statue, of course, which we discussed requires the gold bar. The lumberjack statue also requires a gold bar, as does the metal worker. And then we have the statue of dunking, which requires 3. So I think we should build the lumberjack statue next. Go ahead and unlock that. We have 44,000 science. Wow. Cool. Now this guy's got to go somewhere. And depending on how we want to lay out our priorities for where beavers go in the future, which I have no clue what's going to end up happening there. I hope I don't have to have more beavers. But like we've said before, this general area is kind of the central hub of beaver populations. It just makes the most sense to put it over here. This guy is right here, and that is okay. The range on this is actually pretty decent, and this would cover a few as well. Putting it down here. So if I have... You know what? I kind of like this angle here. Right here, lumberjack statue holding up your gold bar nonsense. They're going to have to be able to build this, which I don't think they can currently get to. That's fine. Where am I going to... First of all, what are these guys making? Brain boosting salts, of which we have 947. Okay, well now that raises another question. Let's take a look and see what they're doing over here. Aha! Well, there's your problem. These guys need to be doing something else. Basic balm, baby. Do we have... Okay, we got 510. 1,400 rice. We really don't need any of this stuff, honestly. Tar, we already had a whole thing about picking up all the tar off the ground that was there for probably 30 episodes, but I think it's, honestly, probably best to just make the brain boosting salts here, and then these guys We built all these in our mad dash to get as much dynamite as possible. I think probably going to have to start making some ice blocks with endothermic essence. Surgery kit. Which one of these is making... Aha, frost bomb. Yeah, see, the frost bomb actually uses ice blocks, so we do need to make it. But the problem is, of course, getting the endothermic essence. I mean, we're making it, not quickly, but we are making it. So this guy right here is making the basic balm. We don't need to get rid of him. These are also... Wow, they're both making basic balm? Okay, well then what's the deal with that? Well, we'll leave it alone. It's working well enough. I'm not going to say it's working great, but it is working well enough. I don't think we really need to be that way about it. Now, what is happening here about nobody's got anything to do? Is that the lumberjack's barn? Ah, because there's no trees left to cut. And this is a viewing spot upgrade. Kind of a nice thing to have, but the lumberjack's barn here, like, I don't want to take up space growing trees. But at the same time, I do have beavers working here. I have beavers living here, but I also have beavers working here that probably would like something to do. And there is a forestry right here. Forestry is the Oster term. Forester is the Timberborn term. Get it through my skull. Eventually, maybe. You know what? I'm just... I know we already spent all this time getting rid of trees. I don't think it does any harm to just plant a couple trees here to give them something to do, plus we can use them. That's probably fine. The pine tree situation we're probably more than okay with. If we are short on berries, I'd say berries, but we're not. If we're short on lemons, I'd say lemons, but again, I don't think we are. Like, we have 470, 480 lemonade, which is fine. It's just an accessory thing. It's not the primary means of hydration for the beavers. And then the rest of this has to be planted by the other stuff. So, I guess this is okay. Click, please. Thank you. Alright. So, that is some pretty decent progress. Man, a lot of beavers dying, I guess Darwin Award type deaths over here. Well, don't do stupid things. And, do I want to take out the hauling tower? Did have a couple comments asking about those. There is a companion building called the builder, or construction tower, I'm sorry. But, I really don't think we need to build it because we already have those pit and ladder lodges that are specifically employing the builders. So, neat building. Don't think we need it. So, that's probably what it is, and I'll just leave this hauling tower here for the event that we need it in the future. But right now, I don't think that's the thing. These guys are also complaining about not having anything to do, huh? I guess that's the problem with having this set up this way, is that these lumberjacks barns aren't going to need to exist. But what can you do? Not a whole lot, if we're being completely honest. Now, the bot assembler, I think, is probably in a position to get turned back on. We do have processors again, and the storage on those is actually just about full. So I will turn this back on. We do have nuclear fuel, which, of course, we need to make the bots. This advanced reactor is full of fuel, and we are making the nuclear waste, or acquiring the nuclear waste, not necessarily making it, but we are converting it reasonably quickly. We might have to turn it back off again sometime soon, but I think for right now it's probably okay. You know what I didn't do? I got distracted. I did not put access to get up here, which I was going to do with the help of, you guessed it, a ladder. Very good building. So we'll go ahead and get that constructed. And now we're kind of at the point, I know 25 minutes later, kind of at the point where we can just go around and take a look at other small projects that need to get done. This needs to be demolished, detonated, etc., so forth. Because this was going to be a place I figured I could put a spot holding area. Which maybe could still be the case, but for right now, it's just open space that eventually we're going to want to do something else with, whatever that something else might be. And now I have these two little holes here with trees that I'm going to have to dedicate additional resources to acquiring here. Unfortunately. It is what it is. We're just going to have to blow it up, put ladders down so they can, you know, get in there and get the tree out, and then fill it back in with all of our dirt, which we now, I guess, don't have. Okay, no, there's like 40 dirt. We're working on it. But now I'm concerned about the lack of sawdust. That's proving to be a little bit of a liability in terms of our production chain. So, obviously, the primary way we're getting those is with the advanced sawmills. Currently, we do not have giant logs to cut into planks or regular-sized logs because we are out of giant logs. So, we need to let those grow up. Obviously, these 5 right here probably should be cut down, but I don't have access to do that. Because for whatever reason, I decided that this was going to be a great place to build that, when that's probably not the case. Oh well, life goes on. Is there somewhere else I can put a giant sequoia feller? Yeah, I mean, maybe right here if I moved everything else. And this probably would be a pretty good spot for it, but I would have to move everything else. Not that that's an impossible task, it's just something that is going to require me to think about it, which we all know is not necessarily a slam dunk. Yes, I do see that there's going to be a bad tide in less than a day, so let's go ahead and pause. Every time I say pause, I think pause 10 seconds for station identification. People don't even listen to the radio anymore, which is a bit of a shame, considering it's one of those things I went to school for. But here I am making YouTube videos about beavers in the apocalypse, so hey. Works out. Open this and close this. And we should be all swapped over, ready to go. No bad water crisis for all of you doom wanters, I guess we could say. I'm gonna have to get this done, disconnect our power, bring this scaffolding in place here, and then start the process of rerouting. Always a good time. Give me that power shaft turn here. And then this one is going to have to go straight. That one will fit nicely there. And then the real reason we're doing all this, it's going to be really funny when this doesn't let me build it here anyway, and I just wasted materials and time. That's never happened before in these videos. Let's give it a shot and see what happens. Wow, it actually works. I was kind of expecting that not to be a thing. Okay, so click on this guy, and oh, it can't reach all these either. So, you know, maybe it was necessary to have 2. I guess that's fine. I can live with that. But this one does, well, just barely reach all these things. These are marked for cutting, so that's fine. We'll just have this get built out here. And, you know, it employs 1 beaver, so, you know, it's not the end of the world that we're going to be losing 1 more body to the grind of felling giant sequoias. There's worse things to do. There's also jobs that are going to be much less likely to crush you under a 3-foot tree. But I'm not the one doing it, so let's go ahead and move on with our lives, shall we? Get these platforms constructed, get these power shafts constructed. Put this last missing piece in right here just as soon as this corner is complete. Which I will pause because I do not trust these beavers to build things in the correct order any more than I can throw them, which is 0. Well, I guess probably most of you would use meters, but I'm an American and we use feet and inches. But these beavers don't exist anyway, so I can't throw them. Problem solved. That's connected now, so actually no, it's not because this one hasn't been built, but it will be connected soon. And this giant sequoia feller will be going to work and taking care of the giant sequoias that need felling. Everything works out in the end. Okay, and we still haven't built our lumberjack monument, which is slideshow. Waiting on the planks for the ladder. I have planks, so why haven't they brought those over here? I guess we just have to wait. But once this ladder is constructed, they can build the monument. We'll get another couple points for our well-being, which is always nice. Not that we're sitting really in a great spot at 52 overall. In Waterbeavers, that's a low score. Regular game, yeah, you'd be sitting pretty good. About 2/3 of the way to the max. But no. Waterbeavers is hard. I saw somebody leave a comment on, I think it was the last episode of Waterbeavers, talking about just how insanely complicated this mod is. It's like, well, yes, it is. That's the point. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be a challenge. It's supposed to be something that's completely overwhelming. And it's fine. It is beautiful for that, and I love it with my entire heart. But it also gives me a good appreciation for the base game in ways that I hadn't fully considered before. Yeah, we'll let them take care of this. The giant logs... Actually, the giant log is in place. Looks like we're just needing planks. Which, that's an entire different can of worms, getting the planks. But we're going to be fine. No need to worry about that. Now, I think we're really going to want to move toward solving our sawdust problem, maybe in another way. Which, I hate to say it, but probably is going to involve growing more and more and more of these things. Do I have anywhere else I can plant a tree? Hold on, did I just like miss one right here? It's entirely possible. Let's oh yes. Oh yes, I can plant another one. But that is the last one I can plant without getting rid of the grapes, which last time I checked, we still really need grapes. So, you know, taking a look at the rest of this, I think I'm going to have to just sacrifice some grapes here. Hate to say it, but we really need them. This is 3, that's 6, 3, 6. This is another 4 giant sequoias. That's probably a decent trade-off to get 4 more giant sequoias, because we are going through the big logs pretty quickly to keep up with our demand for planks and logs and big logs. Giant logs, rather, and giant half logs, which, remember, we need 16 of those to build the other Abyss Exploration Center. Those aren't free. They have to come from somewhere. So we will just do what we can with what we have. Our favorite motto. Alright, so that's also going to need to be... Oh, wait, never mind. It is already marked for cutting, because everything over here is marked for cutting. I was smart. And by smart, I mean extremely forgetful, and it just happened to work out, and I shouldn't accept that as a win, and I should, in fact, say that, well, maybe you shouldn't just mark everything for cutting and forget about it. But in this instance, it works out, so we're just going to move on. Over here in... yes, it is dry. I was beginning to wonder if that was ever going to be a thing. So now I can come in here with the platform and set of staircases. I'm not building ladders because those use metal that I would like to conserve to actually build this thing. So now we can finally come in here, get this thing started, and by the time this is done, hopefully we'll have power figured out. I know there's been a bunch of different ideas that people have dropped in the comments for that. I think my favorite has just been, hey, build a power shaft. It'll go all the way over there. Like, yeah, you're absolutely correct. It will. And I guess I shouldn't be too ashamed to admit that I hadn't thought about that until somebody mentioned it as being a viable thing. Obviously, like, your first instinct is, can I run a power shaft here? But then I saw how far away it was. I was like, yeah, forget it. That's not happening. But now we actually have the opportunity to do it. We just have to be careful about where we put, well, power shafts. I don't think it's going to be impossible. Hey, look at all this. They're actually cutting stuff down. That was going to be one of my main things, was making this land level, because this would be a great place to put grapes. Speaking of great. So if we were to get all of these out of here, I think I've got... Well, I have enough dynamite to do something, but if this was completely flattened, we could just use this entire area to grow nothing but grapes. It's not really very high value land anyway. And it's far enough away where, you know, you could just kind of have somebody doing something somewhere and it not be a big deal. Or alternatively, we could turn it into a giant sequoia grove and use this land to grow grapes. I don't know, I guess it just depends on what you think is a better use of that specific area and, more importantly, which needs the beavers are and are not going to be able to meet based on being all the way over here with minimal connectivity to the outside world. Now, we probably can put in a bridge across here, but that's going to be kind of an arduous task with everything they'd have to do to cross this. We'd have to build a platform in the middle, and because I can't accept things that function and are ugly, I would have to have it be symmetrical, which would cause all sorts of other problems. So maybe we just, you know, kind of don't worry about it. Anyway, very, 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 very roundabout way of saying it, but I think our solution to power here is just dynamite this out and put a couple of big power wheels and just run a thing over and just be done with it. I know we have our doohickeys here. Yes, that's the actual scientific term we're going to use, is doohickeys. Gravity batteries that we could very easily connect with all this. Yeah, also, hello, nuclear power. I can easily connect over here. But, again, getting across the river is hard. And especially because the power shafts have to cross. There's not really a mechanism for that in this mod without using buildings. We do have the giant log bridges, but they have to go between structures. They can't just get put somewhere. So, I mean, I think... well, okay, they're real cheap. Let's try this. Now, I know this is deeper than 2. I know it's deeper than 2, but this right here is only... Come on. Play nice with me here. It's only, I think, 3 deep. So if I were to do tall platform there, and then a giant log bridge between 2 of those, is this 4 long? Let's test what that actually means. Let's see, that's 3. That's 4 in between. Yeah, so if I put this here, I'll just go ahead and unlock it. That's actually going to hang kind of below it a little bit, which, for the purposes of a power shaft, is actually perfectly fine. So you know what? This is starting to become kind of a compelling idea. I hadn't considered it, but let's go ahead and get rid of that and put this in another spot. So if I did, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 there, and then this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh. Now we're cooking. All right, let's give this a shot here. And then I can have regular platforms. Oh, you know, of course, I could also just put platforms this whole way. But sometimes it's not about doing something the way that makes the most sense. It's about finding different ways to accomplish a goal. Which, hey, this uses the glowing firefly juice because you can grow crops underneath it. So would it make sense to put it down in the nasty water? No, that's stupid. But guess what? Sometimes stupid is fine, as long as you have a decent reason for being stupid. Which, you know, I think a lot of people personally who choose to be stupid do not have good reasons for being stupid. But that's just where we are. So, there's a good reason for being stupid. I guess, I don't know, somebody would probably make that argument. But, this, I believe, is going to end up being pretty sweet if I can figure out how to get beavers in here without infecting them. I don't know, man. Maybe I just need to say, look, you gotta get the plague. It's for the good of the colony. Others before self. Maybe not the way the beavers would prefer to do things, but you know what? It's fine. Let's put a staircase here. I think I can get away with doing this. You know what? No, 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 no. It's going to be fine because they can build these and then they can just walk on top of this. Well, either way, somebody's got to go in the sludge. That's, you know, it's, them's the breaks, kiddo. Sorry, you got randomly selected, quote unquote. Go get in the sludge. Now, that doesn't mean we can't put stuff here as well, so I will still be doing that. But we're going to need to, first of all, determine if there's a tree. No, that's just brambles, and they're dead, so they'll go away. Too deep. There. Done. I can put, I think, 2 large water wheels here. And they should make a decent bit of power. It'll only be during bad tides and, well, only during 2 out of 3 possible cycles. Oh, no. But that's going to be fine. How are we looking here? Egregiously slow. Well, that's fine. It is what it is. Okay, additional plantings working well here. Planks, probably not the fastest thing ever, but hey! Wow, the lumberjack statue's done. Which means, well, I think this might have said like 53 or 54 before. Let's check and see what is looking like here. Lumberjack statue's giving us a cool 1.9. Alright, I'll take it. Would love for that to be, you know, a lot higher than 1.9. Looks like this could go to 5. As well as, yeah, both of these should go to 5 as long as we can get all the beavers around there. We might have to build some extras, but we'll get there eventually. That's what we're working on. You already know. It takes time. That's the way it goes. But it's going to be really nice if we can have this other abyss open and operating today with the power it needs. So let's check and see this disaster here. First of all, do I have the materials to really build this? I guess I do. Planks, of course, we have to wait for, which is what it is. But these platforms are entirely scaffolding. And then these guys need the giant half logs, which I guess technically I do have. But we are using. Which means I have to start cutting some of the big logs in half. And I picked the wrong thing to do. So, regular log just about done. This will be turned into a giant half log. Which will also give us sawdust, which we can use. Yeah. Keep in mind that the giant half logs are probably going to go primarily to actually building this, which it's one of the ingredients. It's not baking a cake. But one of the things that has to go into the elevator to the abyss. And yeah, we're going to have to wait for a while. I think. Well, you know, it really doesn't matter because this bridge is going to be pointless until this is actually up. But it also can't be used without this bridge. But this is only 2 giant half logs, and 1 giant log gets cut into 2 halves because that's how halves work, theoretically. And then this is going to need just absolutely ridiculous quantity of these. So, you know, maybe it won't happen today anyway, and I just was incorrect earlier. Clearly, that's never happened before. Massive sarcasm. But I think, if nothing else, we can continue working on getting this area set up ready to go. We do have a lot of nitroglycerin. We don't have a ton of dynamite. We have a lot. 115 dynamite is plenty for water beaver purposes. And I do want to eventually have this entire area flat. So I do think it would probably be best to just start in an area like right here. And just keep on moving as we can here. Just get this all set up, ready to go. I think they should be able to reach most of this. I don't think there's any gaps in coverage. Okay, that works. And now this is, of course, going to go through our explosives like you wouldn't believe. Or maybe you would believe it, I don't know. But they'll get that taken care of. We'll come back and mess with that at a later point in time. Now it is cycle 81. The bad tide is over, which means we can get this flushed out. And part of the other advantage to getting this area filled in a little bit is it will get clean quicker. Now, this area still is going to have some nasty in it because we haven't taken care of it yet. This will get flushed out, but it's really not too long of a time before this gets all taken care of. So we'll leave that alone, let that get flushed out a little bit. And come over, not here, come over here and get this one adjusted. So this area can get replenished. That's looking good. And now, see, so much more clean. All right. And now I was just reminded of something else somebody left in a comment. People asking, why don't we have this rice field connected with this thing of bamboo? The answer is because the heights are just not compatible. Like, this right here is 1 block deep. This is 2, at least, yeah, it's 2 blocks deep. And the water level is never going to be high enough to fill this all the way up. So if these were connected with a canal, this would never be full. It would, like, at best be 0.15 or 0.2 high worth of water. Whereas right now, this single water dump, manually filled, has kept this topped up pretty much forever. So yeah, is it kind of dumb to use a beaver manual labor to do it? Well, I guess not if it actually works, but I think this way is perfectly fine. I understand the sentiment behind wanting to have everything connected so it's automatic, but it would not be an improvement. It would. Wow, we're up to 62. That was quick. Anyway, completely digress. That must mean somebody else got to go take a look at the giant statues. Very inspiring. Yeah, oh, that'll do it. You're plus 3.4, plus 3.1. Balloon inspiration, apparently. But this other stuff, I'm pretty sure this like statue of Dunking Fountain of Joy is going to be a big boost. Pointer statue is also a really funny one because it's, you know, it's just this, the pointer thing. So that's always a good time to imagine. What is the ENS actually doing? Okay, processors. I can get behind that. We do need to just basically build as many hauling bots as possible. We're at 75 right now, which is cool. Bot number 1. That was not what I wanted to click on. Bot number 1. What kind of... Wow, this is slow. What kind of durability does bot number 1 have? Scrolling manually. Very slow. Oh, come on. Oh, we got 6 contaminated beavers. Unfortunate. Beard bot 1 is at 92% I told you these are going to last forever. And, you know, they don't have the bonuses. Do the water beaver bots even get bonuses? I don't think they do. Well, you know what? There's actually a easy way to find out. We just click on one. Oh, I made the mistake of trying to scroll this again. Come on. Oh, please. It's so slow. What do you mean I can't have 1,000 entities in the game go fast? I don't see... Yeah, I don't see any Condition 1, Condition 2 thing, so maybe that's just not something that exists. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to make 5 more and then pause that. Except maybe we might be out of nuclear fuel? Oh no, this is still full. We're fine. That reminded me. I know it. Why would that remind you of this? Look, I can't explain how it works. It just works. Sometimes. Maybe. Skyrim for Smart Fridge. Releasing this fall. Nah. I can't... that game is 13 years old. Like, in a couple days after the release of this video, it'll have been 13 years since Skyrim came out. And Elder Scrolls 6 still doesn't have a release date. But hey, they made Fallout 4 and Starfield and a couple other things, I guess. But, man, it's been 13 years. 13 years before Skyrim came out was 1998. 1998. What Elder Scrolls game came out in 1998? I actually don't know. I'm going to look it up. Why are you talking about Elder Scrolls? You're playing Timberborn. Look. You can't drive the train. My train of thought has no tracks. It's like a 3-dimensional sentient body in space that chooses where it wants to go despite pleadings to stop. So, when did Daggerfall come out? That seems like something that would have been late 90s. 96. Okay. So the time between Daggerfall and Morrowind was decent bit of time, about the same time as between Morrowind and Oblivion. Anyway, Todd Howard jokes aside, Everything takes time. It's the universal theme. Anyway, finally, the reason I moved the camera over here, look, we're trying so hard today, folks. This space of land that is currently 1 tile deep, I thought was going to have to be blasted deeper for the unbelievably tall bamboo to grow in. But I've been told in the comments that it only needs 1. I've not tested whether or not that's actually true, so I'm taking people at their word. It just says partially submerged, so, you know, I have no reason to believe that's not true. So why don't we have the pieces to do it? Why don't we just go ahead and build ourselves a tree nursery? Take our village jobs here and just figure out where's going to be the best spot to put this. Like, we talked about it a little bit last time. I just couldn't decide what was going to work. Which, you know, standard issue inability to make decisions me. Good job. I think that's the dangerous thing. I'm going to want to just put in a spot like, does this have doors on both sides? I think one of them's at the top. Yes, okay. I just have to be careful where I put stuff so it actually, you know, is going to fit. I'm going to say right here is probably okay. Let's roll with that. But what I can do is I can blast this out like this. I know I only have 36 explosives left. Let's actually... Hold on. Pause, please. Spacebar, thank you. Yeah, half of this isn't brought in yet. So what I will do... You know what? No, I'm not going to deprioritize it because then I'm never going to get it done because I'm always going to be building stuff. I'm just going to prioritize these guys right here. That works. So the goal is to blow this up a little bit, give me more space with which to plant bamboo. I don't think I want to fill this in, but we're definitely going to have to be asking ourselves some questions about where I want to be planting things. So, that works. All we gotta do is wait for them to bring stuff up here, which, you know what? I'm not actually sure they can reach all the way around here. Maybe they can't. I don't know. So I guess this would work fine here. For the purposes of utilizing space effectively, I'll just put this straight line in. Okay, they can actually get up here to a certain degree. That's fine. Yeah, we'll just leave it alone. Let them build this stuff. Do what they want to do. Hopefully I have enough dynamite now allocated over here to actually do it. Because I feel like I'm going to run out and then it's going to be really annoying waiting for them to build more. But it is what it is. Okay, so it doesn't... that one says can't get materials. But it looks like a lot of these are pretty good to go. As soon as we are finished with everything that we can actually put in, then I guess I can blow it up. It looks like there's just a few more. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. That can't... there we go. And then I'll set it off so hopefully nobody dies in an explosion. Should always be your goal. And, yep. There we go. Alright, and you already know what I'm putting here. It's going to be a ladder. There you go, and then this is going to have bamboo planted. What is the orientation? Up and to the left from the square in this direction. So if I did one here, I'd have another one here, and that works out just fine. They're not there, which whatever, but they're not there, which whatever, but that works. Remember, the goal is to just have bamboo. So, anything that will allow us to achieve that goal, we should attempt to do. This is ready here. And that's right there. And this will allow us to plant a little bit more. Of course, we have all of this mess that can get removed. Cut that one off first, because then everything else comes out a lot easier. And nope, I missed that one. Good job. That'll go there. That'll go there. Remember, we're going up this way. That one will end up being there once it's removed. That's fine. That works there. What's our range? Assuming this actually gets built. Okay, it's a little further than I thought it would be, but it's not encroaching too much into this territory, which means I did kind of place this correctly. It's good to know. I just saw like 1 FPS there for a second. Gotta love it. Tree nursery waiting on metal fasteners, which we have. Planks, which we actually do have. Okay. Logs, which we have. And dirt, which we have. I like that. Alright, got a couple more spots for unbelievably tall bamboo. Which at some point someone's going to believe it, and then they're going to have to rename it. But maybe not today. Let's check and see how this is going. Good, it has all the giant half logs. Do our little bridges have the giant half logs? They do not. So we can keep cutting those in half. That's fine, but we're going to have to turn that off before too long and turn it back to regular logs. Well, we'll let that take its course there. Dynamite this out, dynamite this out, dynamite this out. Put in a path to go this way, because we obviously can't do anything until this is ready to go. But let's take a look and see. Large water wheels. Power-wise, one here, one here. Yeah, that'll work. That'll absolutely work. I'm like 99% sure we have the blueprints, but just to be safe, is a blue one. That's all I know. I'm never going to need 34 floodgate dams. I can't believe I have that many. Good. I have 25. So I guess I could go ahead and get that situated there. Get that taken care of. Working on it. Working on it. How's this going? Waiting on scaffoldings. I have scaffoldings. That's fine. We got beavers getting infected left and right. That's, you know, all in the name of progress. Am I right? Boy, that's a terrible policy position to hold. Can I know? I cannot know. I can know, but I cannot know because the answer to that question is no. If your brain hurts, so does mine. That's not going to work. I'm going to have to do a ugly bridge to get me over to here. Which will then get me over to here. Why are you building with the platforms? Because I have them. Next question. Now, it would be really funny is if I had my my ladder block this. By funny, I mean not actually funny at all. Tall platform. Good to go. Connect. Perfect. Lag. Expected. So all I have to do is connect this guy here. I'll do a walkway of the overhang variety. Maybe. If it actually is going to let me do this. What direction is this actually facing? Okay, this is what I want. Why can I not attach? Why can I not? There we go. So that's going to go there. The idea being that they can build this from above. Yeah, do I need to have a turn or be something else? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter because this is also here, but I'll just do a turn. Easy there. Easy here. Just leave that where it is. So once these giant bridges are giant bridged, then that should be fine. Let's go ahead and change this back to regular logs. We're going to need more than 510 of those very soon. Oh good, we're up to 75 bots. I been forgetting to check. Okay, so now this is about nuclear fuel. Which, this is still completely full on, so that's totally fine. We can live with that. Just gotta get them in here to... Ah, the glowing fluid. Yeah, that's gonna be a hotly contested item. This is ready here. Detonate. Click, please. Thank you. Detonate. Yet more usage of ladders in environments where they are objectively a waste of resources, but we have to do that so we can get these trees out, so we can fill in the space after the trees are removed. Great system we have here. How are things looking over here? We are waiting on planks. No surprise there. But good progress is being made, and that's what you got to do sometimes. Just appreciate what progress you can make, even if it's not exactly what you want. We are certainly familiar with that here in Waterbeaver land. I don't think I even need to elaborate on that. But it looks like we're going to have a pretty nice addition of bamboo shoots at some point in the future. And since this is the way that it is, I'm going to put in a platform here and just stick a gather flag. Rotate, please, and thank you. Right on top. And that, hopefully, will allow us to take care of all this stuff. The gather flags can also grab stuff that we don't have growing up here, but I think, depending on how we want to connect stuff here, there is a pathway to growing some grapes kind of on this cliffside. If I can... Oh, man. If I can get this doorway hooked up to something. I'm not sure exactly of the best way to do that. But I want to try. I think that would be fun. So let's pause the game. Will a suspension bridge do it? Will this connect with... Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So we have an opportunity here to either make this into ladders, make this specific one into a staircase, make this into a staircase, which I don't think it's going to let me do, or just kind of, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to make this ladders. Is this going to let me click on this separately? No. All right. Wow, this runs, animations run so much faster when the game is paused. Well, of course they do. That's how it works. Look, just let me have this, okay? just let me have it. This lumberjack flag is going to go bye-bye. And now what that's going to do is that's going to give us... Yeah, so you look at all this space. I mean, admittedly, it's not a ton, but look at all this extra space the gather flag can get to just by virtue of having access through the building. So we've got space over here that we could easily get cleared up. Well, mostly easily. Mark that for demolishing. I don't think it's going to matter to come all the way over here, so I'm not going to worry about it. But dynamite that down, and you know, every little bit counts. We could have some grapes over here, nice easy crop to grow. Just get everything harvested and moved on. So, that's the state of that stuff there. What about over here? Oh, I didn't blow this one up. That was a mistake. And yeah, you know, there's more stuff to get done here, but I think our dynamite situation is going to be much more beneficial invested over here. So that's what I'm going to choose to do. And then not all of this is done, but I'm going to go ahead and set it off. Nice. I'll leave this in place so we can get up here, but look at all this extra space we have. This is going to be really, really, really useful to grow some stuff. I'm thinking, I mean, of course, please do tell me your opinions. What would you like to see grown over there? But in terms of a minimum amount of labor to gather the materials, I think sequoias would actually make more sense over there. Because the grapes are going to grow a lot more quickly, a lot more frequently. These are every 5 days, you got to harvest them. Versus these guys, every 50 days, you got to cut them down. So just from a land use perspective, yes, what we get out of these is very valuable, but if we want to try and keep things closer together in terms of beaver trips, time, so on and so forth, then I think moving the sequoias over there is going to be more beneficial. Which, of course, is going to require us having even more of these exotic seeds to build another one of these things. Thankfully, they don't require the Bachelor's in Agronomy anymore, which wasn't even called that in the original version of this. Well, the Update 4, excuse me, version of the Waterbeavers that we played. Wow, was that last year at this point? I guess it was 2023, something like that. That was Series 12. This is Series 16, and the Update 6 one we're doing now is Series 19. Anyway, we've been on this one for most of the year. What was this, May? May of 2024 we started. Now it's, well, as I'm recording this, it's November 6th. So you're going to be watching this most likely on the 7th, unless you're one of the channel supporters, in which case you'll get it today. But all that to say, this is a really, really long playthrough. And sometimes I get a little bit confused about exactly what's going on here. So, all of these things we've been talking about, there's so much that I can't ever hope to cover in one episode. I'm always going to miss something, but I do genuinely try. We've got homeless beavers. Even though we have beds available, and somebody left a comment that was very intriguing to me, and that was to talk about whether beavers are homeless because their workplace is too far from a place where they can live. That would be a very impressive mechanic for the game to implement, even if unintentionally. But I want to find... Oh, wow, this is a disaster zone. Never mind. Okay. So the suggestion that was made was to go to a very remote workplace that is not near housing, and check to see if the beavers who work there are homeless. And, I mean, there's not really that many jobs that are super far, except, I guess this one might technically right now be the furthest one. This beaver is not homeless. Beaver lives over here. So I think it might just be an issue of assigning beavers to specific buildings. Okay, lives in the sawmill. What about this one? Lives in the tree nursery. All the way over here? Yikes. That is a commute I would not wish on my worst enemy, but that's fine. This wheel is... Well, it's not fine, but it's also a game, so it doesn't matter. 448 HP. So 2 of these together would give us almost 1,000, about 900. So definitely we'll take that any day of the week. How's this looking? Flooded. Well, does that mean I can't... I didn't even check to see if I could build power shafts on these. Oh, good. That was about to be like one of the biggest letdowns of the series so far if I were not able to do that. Life goes on. Could they reach this? They can. They can't reach this one, which was the concern. I mean, I feel like I just have to keep building platforms and scaffolding and stuff all over the place. Just because of how convoluted this map is. But, anyway, what I'm getting at is I have to be able to get to these to build what I'm trying to build. Just the way it goes. This is a good scenario for... I think. You know what? No, this is actually considerably cheaper because we have so many platforms. Yeah, I'll just do one of these. Not gonna be a big deal. I will future-proof this. Future-proof asterisk. By putting a T intersection here in case I want to put another reactor in this area and not have to come in and redo stuff. But it's one of those things that is just going to take time. Can they actually reach this? I guess they can. I didn't think that was going to be a thing. But, oh, maybe it's going to count walking on top of the straight to vertical. Ah, but this one's not reachable. But this also isn't built yet, so who knows? Nobody, that's who. This is still waiting on giant logs. Okay, well, that's doable. They do take 50 days to grow, and we did use a ton of them. Look at this. We have big, beautiful bamboo. Seedlings, but still. And look at this. We have the ladders in place, so we can plant grapes. We can plant so many grapes. As long as the gather flag can reach them, which is here. Does it have identical range to the tree nursery? Almost. Almost. Well, that's fine. This will go very nicely over here with some additional grapes, as opposed to no grapes at all. Get this blown out here. Ah, see, this might... No, I don't think it'll get any additional range if I blow these up, but the thing I'm really worried about, does this reach? That's the beaver, that's not the building. I was about to say, why can't that? Okay. So these do actually have the same range on this side, which is what I was looking for. Again, not a huge quantity of grapes, but every grape counts. You got to make progress as much as you can whenever you can. So this will definitely help our minty bamboo shoot numbers, although I think we're still way, way, way behind. But like I said, just takes time. All these chestnut trees are, yeah, they're on their way to producing the chestnuts. That is great to see. Of course, we're still going to be out of them basically forever because that's how it goes. That's looking good. These forester can go away. Now I have 4 homeless beavers. Where's that sound? Is it lagging that bad? There it is. The game is crying for help and we laugh at it. How cruel. Alright, still need 3 giant logs. That's probably not going to happen anytime soon unless one of these grows up as we're looking at it, which, you know, is entirely possible, but 50 days is a long time. 79%, 27, 28, 28, just randomly clicking at this point. 95, okay, so, you know, in the next couple days we'll have one. So good stuff done there. Ah, bad tide approaching, bad tide approaching. Uh-oh. So that's probably going to be a good place to stop, actually, at the beginning of the bad tide. But, you know, for all the problems that we seem to keep running into in terms of supplying certain materials for certain things, it really could be a whole lot worse. It absolutely could be worse. I feel like overall we've done a pretty good job. I'm not going to sit here and complain about it for sure. Silicon metal ingots are waiting on... Oh, time, actually. That's pretty much it. We have a lot of coal now. Coal storage is almost full. I think I originally had one in this tower here. I mean, we can build more of these towers elsewhere. We just haven't done it yet. So that will that'll be a thing maybe we can get to next time. I was just wanting to make sure we weren't going to run out of scrap metal, which right now it looks like we're on the way to running out. So this needs iron ore. Or what? Can I... Which one of these had the coal that I can just turn... Aha, okay. Yeah, I'm just going to switch this one over to iron ore just because we have 1,100 coal in the bank right now. It's not RuneScape, there's no bank. Oh, sheesh. How are we... Oh, you know, we're actually making progress over here for pumpkin planting, which is looking a lot better now pumpkin chip-wise. We have 4,300 of those. That's actually really good to see. That one can go here nicely, get planted. I think, you know what? I'm going to unplant, and I'm going to choose to plant this one right next to here. And then maybe at some point I can... Ooh, you know what? I can do that right now. Is that 4 blocks tall? Sure is. All right. That's a great way to spend a whole bunch of resources to plant one more pumpkin. That's definitely not going to be a problem whatsoever. But these 3 here will allow us to plant 2 more pumpkins than we currently have planted. Which might not seem like a lot, but it's going to make a difference later. Every little bit counts. Alright. Well, we touched on most of the stuff that I wanted to either work on or get done today. Again, it's a very slow process. You understand that now. We're in episode 61. It was never going to be quick. But I appreciate you being here nonetheless. And yeah, this is going to be about where we're going to leave it. So, like I said, you guys watching this series makes it possible to keep making the series. Weird Boosters, of course, your contributions directly benefit the channel and make it so that I can continue to invest the amount of time I do invest, which is substantial at this point, into this series and everything else on the channel, without having to feel like, oh, well, I need to start taking money to advertise garbage. I say it every single time. You're probably sick of hearing it, but genuinely, could not do without you. Really appreciate your support. It help us keep the focus on games and not other garbage, because you know there's enough of that in the world right now. I'm just glad to be able to play games and enjoy your company. You've always been very, very enjoyable to talk to. Got a nice community here, and I hope we can keep it that way, because this is just a whole lot of fun. Just keep it focused on the games and figuring out the best way to get stuff accomplished. Always a fun time. But that's going to be it for this one. Have a fantastic rest of your day, whatever it is you're doing. Stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.